Good morning and welcome to our daily devotional from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn. Very glad to have you with us on this Monday morning, October the 2nd, 2023. And this morning we're going to be looking at another passage from the book of Exodus. We'll be in Exodus chapter 20, which contains one of the versions of the list of 10 commandments. And we're skipping around a bit in this chapter to be able to cover all 10 of the commandments. And we'll be discussing those this week, and especially the role of the commandments in the life of the faithful person. And so this is Exodus chapter 20, and I'll be reading verses 1 through 4, 7 through 9, and 12 through 20. And as I usually do on Monday mornings, I'll offer some general reflections and then close us with prayer. Then God spoke all these words: I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, whether in the form of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not acquit anyone who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife or male or female slave or ox or donkey or anything that belongs to your neighbor. When all the people witnessed the thunder and lightning, the sound of the trumpet and the mountains smoking, they were afraid and trembled and stood at a distance and said to Moses, "You speak to us and we will listen. But do not let God speak to us, or we will die." Well, as I mentioned, there are a few places in the Hebrew Bible that refers to a list of commandments that traditionally have added up to 10, and that we refer to as the 10 Commandments. And those are here in Exodus chapter 20. And you may recognize that there's a kind of division in these commandments, which do allow you to make various groupings and summaries. This is why in the Gospels we have the phrase about the summary of the law is to love the Lord your God with all thy strength, thy soul, my mind, I can't even say it now, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's a kind of summary of these verses. So the first few verses have to do with one's relationship to God. And then you have these 6 commandments that have to do with your relationship to other people in the community. One other note that I would like for us to keep in mind this week, and that is the fact that in the New Testament, Jesus emphasizes the importance of the law. That is, he is often accused of breaking or stretching the law in different ways. And he several times emphasizes that he has not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. And I'd like to emphasize that there are ways in which, as I've said before, that we need to hold together the seriousness of injustice and unrighteousness on the one hand, together with God's love and unlimited mercy on the other hand. So that God's mercy does not mean that issues of justice and righteousness no longer matter, but rather holding those two together, the seriousness of living a life of goodness and kindness and gentleness, while at the same time recognizing God's unlimited mercy. So we'll have lots of time this week to reflect on these matters. I hope you'll join us each morning and for a Bible study on Tuesday evening at 5:45. Let's close with this word of prayer from W.E. Orchard. O Father and our Mother, we turn to thee because we are vexed with our own thoughts. Our minds plague us with questionings we cannot answer. We are driven to voyage on strange seas of thought alone. Dost thou disturb our minds with endless questioning, yet keep the answers hidden in thy heart, so that away from thee we should always be perplexed, and by thoughts derived from thee be ever drawn to thee? Surely, our God, it must be so. But still more bitter and humbling, O Father, is our experience of failure, so frequent, tragic, and unpardonable. We have struggled on in vain. Resolves are broken before they even pass our lips. We can see no hope of better things. We can never forgive ourselves for other things. And after all our prayers, our need remains and our sense of coming short deepens. Yet at least we know that we have failed, and how, if something higher than ourselves, would we be able to do this if it were not at work within us? Our desperate desires have driven us at last to thee, conscious now, after all our efforts, that it is thyself alone that can satisfy us, and now at peace to know that it is thou who we desire, because thou who dost desire us. Beyond our need, reveal thyself, its cause and cure, and all our desire, teach us to discern thy drawing near. Amen. Thank you for joining me this morning from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn, and I hope that you have a very good day. Goodbye.